I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Everyone would join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody coming out this evening. We've got several topics of interest, and then the board has its usual business. We have to pay bills and things like that, so we keep operating. Tonight, we're having two meetings, actually. We're going to have a statutory meeting that's required, and we're going to begin with that, but that should be rather brief. Then we'll go into our regular meeting after that. So at this time, we're going to have a motion to look at the levy rates for the next school year. Could I have a motion and a second on that, please? Motion?
So moved.
Mr. Wilkerson?
Second.
Second by Mr. Baker. Is that an all yes vote?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ellis is our treasurer there, and he's prepared, board members, as you've gotten on your agendas. Any members of the audience, if you have an agenda, you'll see where that has been prepared for us, establishing our levy rate for the next school year, both for our regular levy and our excess levy. But this is required each year for the board to take action in establishing those levy rates. Now, tonight we're doing that. Now, we're going to suspend action on that until April the 18th, when we'll come back and finalize those. So should there be any comments or anyone has any questions about those, that could occur in this period of time until the board will take final action on the levy rates for next school year. So at this time, I'm going to ask for a motion to suspend action until April the 18th. Mr. Ellis, anything else that I've forgotten here, sir?
No, it's exactly as you said. These papers that you have are the exact same thing that we went over 2 weeks ago. Nothing's changed. So there's no need for a new presentation. I think we covered that in the last board meeting.
Okay. Has this been advertised?
Today.
Yes.
Okay.
Today and next week.
So today and next week?
Sorry, this week and last week.
Okay, so it's been in the paper for 2 weeks. It's showing what the rates are, or what they're proposed to be. Okay, can I have a motion to suspend action then, please? Okay, Mr. Curry made the motion, and Ms. Smith seconded that. Is that an all yes on that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so on April the 18th, we'll finalize the levy rates for the next school term. Okay, now we're going to go to our regular agenda. Pages are too older if you happen to have them there. We're going to now meet in regular sessions as we normally do. As I stated before, what we're doing, the Lake County Board of Education, we meet for the purpose of conducting the county's business. This is a business meeting. But at the same time, we allow for public participation in activities that may be of interest to people. But, so that's why certain things are on our agenda that are part of regular business that we have to do. Other things, as issues arise or things come up around our schools, then we deal with those things too. But as a part of that, we're going to talk about it in just a moment, but first we have to approve the minutes of the March the 7th, 2017 regular meeting. Could I have a motion for that, please?
I move.
Ms. Smith?
Second.
Second by Mr. Baker. Is that an all yes?
Yes.
Okay. So now, we're at the point of having public comments. Now, I heard Mr. Limble there a while ago mention to those, just reminded everybody in the crowd, the way, as I said before, even though this is a business meeting, there is always the opportunity for the public to address the board. And anyone can do that at any board meeting. All you have to do is sign this piece of paper that's over there by those two gentlemen, and you are able to address the board. Now, we also, right below that, if you were to see agenda, you'll see presentations and reports. And those are people or individuals or groups who have made plans ahead of time to speak with the board. And they've contacted Mrs. Powell in the superintendent's office, and that has to occur by the prior Wednesday of the board meeting. Now, the reason all this is because the open meetings law requires that the public be made aware 3 days before, or business days before the meeting, of what the board's going to be discussing. Now, the reason I've mentioned that because there's a little bit of difference between these two ways these are done. Anyone can come in 5 minutes before the board meeting and sign this sheet and speak to us. Now, we will not be able to have dialogue or discuss that with you. But we will listen. Oftentimes we'll take notes, but we're not going to talk with you. We're not allowed to. The reason for that is the public does not know we're going to talk about whatever it is you're wanting to talk about. because there's always two sides to things. So when you think about it, it's kind of logical. But just because we don't talk to you, don't think that we're not listening to you. And we may have follow-up at some future time. We may ask the superintendent, or someone on his staff may contact you about things, or we ourselves may ask you to come back and meet with us again when we can talk about it. So that's the first thing. Then we're going to go into presentations and reports, and we have three different individuals or groups that are going to be presenting to us tonight. When we get to those things, they're going to make presentations, and a lot of times there's dialogue back and forth between us because we're able to discuss those. The public has been made aware of this ahead of time, that we're going to discuss these things, because we're fortunately, most things we discuss, people are generally on the same page, but there are things that might be debatable, and there are two sides to an issue, and that's why if you're going to talk about something, somebody else may not agree with you, and they have to have the opportunity to come and give their 2 cents too. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is allow those that want to speak, that have signed in to speak to the board, to do so, and we'll certainly be attentive to that. So it's, we have Tara Chapman. She's going to talk, the subject is Guyan Valley Marquee. Here. There she is.
Thank you. And we were going to be on the board agenda, but for some reason we got lost somewhere, I guess, in cyberspace. We've already had this discussion, but anyway. We had faculty senate meeting, and our faculty took a vote, and by secret ballot, and the majority of the faculty voted on this letter to be presented to the board. And you have a copy of it, and I would like to read to you. Lincoln County Board members. We had 3 community members who were associated with Guyan Valley Middle School pass away recently. Bus driver Golden Adkins, Coach Rodney Vance, and retired teacher Merle Mance. Some Guyan Valley faculty members wish to honor them on our marquee. We were informed by Mr. Limble that there was a policy prohibiting this, and he provided documentation. Upon reviewing this document, it appears that it came from Lincoln County High School and was written in 2013 by their counselors. It does not contain a policy number as a county or state policy would. If it is a Lincoln County policy that all schools are expected to follow, then it should be on file at each school. We are proposing that the board acknowledge that this policy does not take into account what was requested. And on the back of your letter is the documentation that Mr. Limble gave us. And at the top you can see that it's dated 2013, and it has Lincoln County counselors at the top, and it's page 1432. There shouldn't be a policy that lumps acknowledging someone for his or her service along with having a memorial. There is a difference between them. A memorial could be a ceremony. No one asked for that. A memorial could be a monument, or one that is temporary, like crosses or posters, or one that is permanent, like a statue or a plaque. No one asked for that either. We wanted a display, a simple and tasteful tribute for a short period of time, like, thank you, Merle Mance, for your years of service. We have pictures of what constitutes a memorial. Again, we did not ask for a memorial. This is a picture of Sheila Cremines, which is here at the board's office in the back at the entrance of the PK entrance. And it's fairly, Sheila Cremines passed away a couple years ago. This is what you call memorial. Again, it's a picture of her. I think it's in a flower bed. This is, I think, at Midway Elementary. It's a picture of a memorial of past teachers that have passed, and it's I think older, but again, it shows that we do give tribute to those that pass. This is a picture, I think, at Duval Elementary. It's a memorial, a Vietnam memorial of, I think, of some students that have passed. All right, again, memorial. This is not what we wanted. More pictures at Duval. Or I'm sorry, this is Aikenville. Midway, excuse me. And this is Midway. Okay. And of course, we all know the famous picture we have here, Charles Yeager. All right. Again, those are what we call memorials, not what we asked for. The community would not have been upset or insulted by the tribute. Instead, it seems that they expected it to happen. As a matter of fact, that is what prompted the request. Mr. Golden Agians, a resident of Pleasant View and a former Guyan Valley teacher, contacted Tara Gay Chapman, speaking, who currently teaches at Guyan Valley, to see if the marquee could have a simple tribute to honor Merle Mans. Another local resident, Rodney Vance, coached hundreds of kids from Guyan Valley, and he made a big impact on the community. It is too late to use the marquee for the ones that have passed, but it would be a shame if we could not put a message on a marquee for the next person that passes. Again, this document from 2013 is too broad. Therefore, the faculty at Guyan Valley would like for the board to acknowledge that marquees can be used to honor school and community members that have directly impacted students, if that is the desire of the majority of a school's faculty. The school is the heart of the community, and we do not want to alienate the community members and the parents after Mrs. Burton, Guyan Valley's parent volunteer coordinator, has made such a strong connection. Schools are about the only thing left in small towns like ours. Once they are gone, there is nothing left. If we take the heart of the community away, then the community will have no identity. Sincerely, Guyan Valley Faculty Senate.
Thanks very much. Okay, the next person we had signed in was Sandy Johnson. Her topic is community involvement at Guyan Valley Middle School.
I don't know if she's made it or not. So.
Someone signed in for her. We'll hang on to it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you all very much. Okay, now, the next part of our agenda, we're going into presentations and reports, things are on our agenda. And we're going to start off with the Lincoln County High School College Summit students. Mr. Cormier for Art Dow, there you are. I'll just leave it up to you and your students as to how you want to do it. Apparently, you've already got that figured out.
Good evening, my name is Jacob Kirkendall. We have a presentation prepared.
I'm Lydia Roberts, and the rest of our peer forward team is along the back row. I'll let them stand up and introduce themselves.
I'm Dylan Atkins, I'm a junior. I'm Dalton Ryan, I'm
I'm Katie Flowers, I'm a junior. I'm Missy Livingston, and I'm a senior.
I'm Zachary Dowell, I'm a senior.
We have a lot of information to share in a short period of time, so we put together a video to share with you guys. We will get out of your way.
College Summit is a peer-led group of students, of 8 students, and we influence other students, especially seniors, about the importance of college and having a plan for after high school.
College Summit is focused on getting kids to and through college.
We educate the student body on their financial aid and scholarship opportunities and just the most efficient ways to get into their post-secondary education and find a successful career.
We all kind of work together and we just try to spread the word about and help people try to get to college and let them know about any financial aid that they might need.
So right now we're focused on getting kids to apply to 3 or more colleges, filling out their FAFSA, and then our next campaign is to get awareness throughout our community, throughout the younger kids and the students and the parents, and changing the college-going culture that we currently don't have.
For many years, Lincoln County High School had a college-going rate of about the low 40s, high 30% rate. And so we saw there was an issue, and we were looking for programs that would help us to alleviate that problem. College Summit came to us and said, we've got this program, here's what it does. Is there a fit for you guys? And obviously there was. So,
Didn't know a lot about the program. Happened to walk into Mr. Snyder's office one day and a lady was sitting there presenting the information.
He asked me if it was something that I would be interested in doing, and about that time, Mike McCormick walked in, and which I gratefully threw him under the bus with me and explained that if he could help out, that I would help out also, and that's how we started.
Well, the summer workshop, like I've said before, was easily the best and the worst thing I've ever had to do in my life because it's one of the most challenging and stressful experiences that I've ever had to go through because during the few days we were there, they definitely packed all the teaching that they could into it, but the memories that I made and all the things that I learned were really incredible.
It's really opened some doors this summer. We went and we experienced a lot. We met a bunch of different people. It was a very diverse experience. It was eye-opening for me to realize that we're not the only school with issues, even though we're not all the same, but we don't have it bad. We have successes too, and we need to celebrate those.
We went to Baltimore over the summer, and we just met a lot of new people from a lot of different schools from around the country, and they were all kind of connected by we wanted to help people go to college.
My typical day started really early, usually 6 in the morning. We'd eat breakfast, and then we'd go to a little meeting to talk about what we're going to do today. We'd tell what all our plans were, our goals.
So just take off, and just like that, we'd be going pretty much directly from workshop to workshop to workshop, and then we'd have lunch, and then we'd have another workshop or seminar of some kind, and then right after that,
You go with your college coach, and then you go with your writing coach. You learn how to write your personal statement.
it'd be dinner time, and sometimes around dinner time we'd have maybe 20 minutes of rest in there, and then after that we'd usually have another workshop or some type of team building, and it would end in wrap sessions, which are
Basically, when you tell everything about the day, tell everything about your experience there, and you basically have to stand in front of everybody and talk about what your life is and how it's been changed so far.
So really where I think a lot of growth came from, it was just a lot of sharing and intimate moments with each other, and then finally around midnight you'd get to go to bed, midnight or 1, and it's a really long day.
But the people at the summer workshop really just put my life and my high school experience into perspective, because sometimes I really think that we have awful things going on here in our state, but then I see students from across the country and they're going through the same things, and sometimes even worse. But when we all came together with the same goal in mind, it was just a great feeling and just an awesome 4 days of my life. It was probably one of the best experience I've had so far.
The adults and trainers and peer forward team that we had this summer, that really guided us through all of it. So this year it was my ideas, it was me in the school. What projects do you think you work? It was like this summer I was able to step it up and realize that I deserve my place at the table too, that my ideas were valid.
These guys come back and they were given projects they had to do through this meeting they did in the summertime. And they were asked to, I guess, track the number of students that were looking at college, or even track the number of students that had filled out FAFSA forms, just to have a conversation with students about college or post-secondary education.
I feel like we've accomplished quite a bit. I've had kids come up to me and ask how to write personal statements, or how to do this, or how to do that, questions about their FAFSA, and I've been able to help them and answer them and be there. It's kind of nice to see some kids accomplish that, things that they didn't think they could do, and it's just nice to know that you're not only changing their future, but their family's future, and everything about what they had going on in their lives or what they had planned in their lives just completely flipped upside down, and they're making themselves better.
A lot of changes that I've seen in myself since I've been in College Summit is I've gained a lot of better sense of responsibility in a way, and teamwork and leadership.
It has made me a lot more confident in my planning for college and also my planning for a future career. It has made me not as worried about the future as I was before.
I'm not afraid to step up anymore. I know that if somebody has to do it, why not me? You have to be a leader. You have younger people looking up to you, especially because I'm a junior. I'm able to take charge now and help lead my other organizations.
It's changed me into a leader. It's made me open my eyes. It's given me a place to direct my passion and my creativity and my time and effort.
I talked to my mom about a lot about like all the stuff I'm going to have to do to get into college that I didn't really know before, and she's just been able to see I'm knowledgeable about what I'm supposed to do, that I'm prepared to go on after high school.
I was kind of nervous. I didn't really know what it really entailed. But then when I saw all the people who were involved, these are some of the greatest people I know, and we all work and mesh really well together, and I think we get the job done.
I like the camaraderie in the group, how we're all so driven to help other people. I've seen a change in a lot of students' mentality. Like, a lot of them, didn't really think of them as a person that would go to college, but we just changed that mindset.
But this is all student-led, so as most of you know, when it's coming from their peers, students are more apt to listen than if it's the adults, saying you need to do this, you need to do that.
For me, College Summit has been a changer for us in that it's made college more important for our other students. But it's also not just saying it's important, it's telling them the why. And if it's something that you're serious about, it's saying, and here's what you need to do to make sure that you are on the right track academically, you're on the right track as far as filling out the paperwork, you're on the right track because you've had a conversation with someone about this is something you want to do.
I think our group of seniors have absolutely transformed into great leaders. They are very kind and patient, and they were great students to begin with. But as far as taking a stand and taking the lead, maybe they've stepped out of their comfort zone a little bit to work with kids that they're not in contact with as regularly. They've went to all of the senior classes, not just the classes that they're in, and they're targeting all students, and they're saying, we understand that this is your plan, but hey, come along with us and do this. I think they've maybe developed a better understanding of some of the things that high school has to offer, but I think at the same time, they've shown other seniors that there's some things out there.
Well, I think the thing for me, the money is well worth being spent. Because, my thought is if it, put a price tag on making a difference between one child going to school and being successful or not. I don't think you put a price tag on that. I think sometimes these conversations what you have with those kids, if it just changes one student from saying, maybe I can, to, hey, let's go through this. They do go through it, get accepted, go to college. This kid could have been something completely different, but they chose to go to college because of something they heard or did, and it changed their life. It kind of sounds hokey pokey, but it changes lots of lives because their children may be impacted by that. So I'm not sure you put a price on what this cost us.
I feel like there's still a lot more that we could do. The FAFSA numbers are still really low, but it's hard to get 75% of your kids to fill out their FAFSA when 75% of your kids aren't going. But we just got news of 45%, right? 45% of our seniors have filled out their FAFSA this year, which is awesome. That's just now. They have until they go to school in the fall.
I'm really looking forward to the summer camp that we're supposedly going to. All the seniors have said that it is a totally life-changing experience, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I very much hope that we still continue to get support for College Summit because the past 2 years have been really successful, and it would be a shame to lose that now that we've gained so much ground and really helped our students.
I hope the school continues the College Summit program just because we're not only helping students with their current problems, like trying to fill out scholarship forms and trying to figure out their financial aid qualifications, but it also helps them be prepared for even after post-secondary education.
It is a tremendous program at our school. It doesn't just benefit the 8 peer leaders in the College Summit group, but it benefits the entire school. I've seen a tremendous amount of just people being more interested in what they can do after high school and going to college, and students who never thought that they could go to college or go here, go there, they really have set higher goals for themselves.
For me, it was one of the most empowering experiences that I've ever got to be a part of. It empowered me as a person, and I hope that they continue that because it doesn't just impact the high school of Lincoln County or the students of Lincoln County, but it could ultimately change the future for Lincoln County itself and for all the great things that are to come, and we could use a little bit of positivity here.
This year we worked on 3 campaigns that were mentioned in the video. Our first campaign was to get kids to apply to 3 or more colleges, because if you apply to 3 or more colleges, you're more likely to get accepted to at least one of them. Our second campaign was to get kids to fill out their FAFSA. Our ultimate goal was 70%, or 75%, I'm sorry. The state goal was 60%. As of March 10th, we received news that we're at 51%, so we're getting there, so setting the bar high. And our third campaign, which we're currently working on, is to spread knowledge of the college-going community that we don't have, that we're trying to change, and our goal and our purpose to the rest of the community, to the other students, to the parents, and here tonight with you guys. When we're starting that first campaign. Or third campaign.
So this is about our campaign activities. As you can read on here, the peer leader teams are driving college-going activities across the nation. On average, Peer 4 teams have completed 3 college applications activities, 2 FAFSA activities in high school. Lincoln County outpaces the national average of campaign activities implemented. The Peer team completed 5 college application and campaign activities and 4 FAFSA campaign activities. And you can see the graph here.
Some of the activities we started, we had a presentation at the beginning of school year with the teachers to get them all on board, to show them what we're about and make sure they can support our campaigns and our system and our team, basically. And then we presented ourselves to the school. We presented ourselves to each class individually to show them, like, hey, this is what you need to be doing this year. Keep this on track. Keep this on mind. College is coming up. If you need anything, we will always be there for you. Then we did open house where we talked to the parents. And then we went around, we have AAs at the high school, which are homerooms, and we went around and helped students complete their FSA, their Federal Student Aid IDs, which is the first step to completing your FAFSA. And then we gave out pennants to show the students, like, to promote positivity throughout our school and show off the kids that had gone to college. They just signed their name and where they had applied and what they were going to do. And we hung banners up throughout the school that they had filled out, just to show, like, hey, they did that, like, congratulations. We've had AAs, we've had meetings in AAs several different times. We gave them surveys just to get our numbers, to be able to collect data. We've had free application days for students to be able to apply, because sometimes money is an issue for some, or they don't know how or where to start with this application, so we brought it to the students. There was a college fair at Marshall. We've had people come in from the state, CFWV, and we've had several different FAFSA workshops, which are financial aid. The counselors, we were able to help the parents, and we were able to support the counselors and bring them anything that they needed, or spread the word with that. And we have this new program or email throughout our school. It's called Mary's List. Our counselor, Mary Mullins, sends out information about scholarships and FAFSA and deadlines and stuff due to the students. Over the past couple of years, our graduation rates have inclined. That's due to programs that came before us. The motion is still set. The ball is still rolling. So their goal, like dropout prevention, was to prevent kids from dropping out and to increase these numbers. And our goal is to increase the FAFSA rate. And that's what we're working on. So we're setting the ball. We started that last year. Last year, 55% of our students had applied. This year, as of right now, as of March 10th, 51% have applied, and they have until they go back to the school in the fall to get those numbers up, to fill out their FAFSA, to get that stuff submitted.
So we set a goal of 70%, which that's really extremely high. But the reason we set the goal that high is that we would have to reach for it. As of that date, March 10th, 51% of Lincoln County High School seniors have completed their FAFSA. This is above the average national, 28%. Successful FAFSA activities in Lincoln County include FSA ID help for seniors and a parent FAFSA night, which is a workshop where the parents could come in and receive help from counselors that were specifically instructing how to complete FAFSA. The national winner, it was us for the highest percentage in increase, which was 10% during January. We did a 5-week campaign, and the percentage change throughout the whole Tier 4 nationwide, which is 80 to 90 different schools, was 12%, and our change during those 5 weeks was 14%. And this is our number of parchment requests, which is the service we use to send our transcripts. There were 74 individual seniors who have requested transcripts to send to different colleges. 25 of those were one, and one person actually submitted 18 different schools. So.
We link our transcripts, our parchment, we link that to applications, so 74 students have sent out transcripts for their applications because that's where they go, so that's why we see that number in there, not just we throw numbers in, but. What this program has helped with is helping the peer leaders own their goals and step it up to, because when students are told to do something from a teacher or from a counselor, it's just another thing they're being told to do, but being influenced by their peers is different. It's cool, it's peer pressure, but positive peer pressure. And the advisors have helped us in our relationships, the ones from like DC and the national office, and they've helped our advisors from our school, like Mr. McCormick and Ms. Fry, to have the information that we need and to have the other ideas. And well, here's what other schools are doing and connecting us throughout the nation, so it's not just here, or we've hit a block that we can't accomplish. Well, maybe someone else has, or we could get that from the other advisors. The other thing, the potential growth we have is to keep passing this torch, to keep this going, to keep the college rate increasing, the FAFSA numbers increasing. Any questions?
We may have a couple. Mr. Wilkie, you have something?
Yeah, I have one. I noticed you had something in your presentation up there on the screen, something about going through, unless I misunderstood, to different grade levels with presentations. How far does that extend down? Sophomore, freshman?
We started with the freshmen when they come into high school because a lot of freshmen don't realize that what they do their freshman year can make a big difference in their senior year trying to get into colleges and get into scholarships. We have this website through Peer Forward. It's called linkforward.com. Anyone can get on to explore it. It's a bunch of different websites tied into one, but there's one called GoFundMe, and you just type in stuff you've done. Like you can type in like, I got an A in Spanish, or I ran track my freshman year, or I played basketball or something, and you put in all that up because you forget that and it's hard to get back. Like, I completed this community service, and it keeps it all there together for you throughout your whole high school year. That builds up scholarships, and that way you can go back and look on it. And we really push, like, you need to keep your grades up your freshman year and come to school and do all the things. And I mean, just like I said before, it's more positive peer pressure. Like, well, these are the cool kids in the school, and these are the seniors that are telling us.
You scared me there first when you were just talking about senior.
Yeah.
Because I realized, having been a former high school principal and teacher, that it's a little bit late when you get to the senior year. And what you just said is very important. Those grades, especially the 10th year grades are super important. And you had me scared there for a while. I'm glad you cleared that up. Thank you.
He feels better now.
I feel better. This is a good program. Really great.
Now, there are 8 of you all peer leaders this year.
Yes.
Is that the maximum number that you can have, and how are those chosen?
I think Mike has to answer that question. How we're
Mr.
choosing.
McCormick, we're gonna throw that one to you.
Well, I would say, well, with the 8 that we have now, it actually started off with 2 years ago. When we first got the program, I was Mr. Snyder's office with Jessica, and he was getting a presentation, and so we were asked just to pick 4. And the College Summit had sent this very lengthy packet of requirements and different things, and they were looking for different types of kids. They wanted kids that were athletes, kids that were high flyers, but they also wanted kids that had different reaches throughout the different building. Maybe a band geek, somebody who, don't be offended by that. Bad remark. But they wanted a variety of kids that would reach the largest group of people. So we put it out to, it was a quick process, but it was a very difficult process. We had teachers do recommendations. We had students do recommendations. And then we compiled different lists. And then we graded those on a rubric, for 2 different sets. It was personality and outreach. Were these people friendly? Were they have friends? Were they able to, were they leaders in the school? Not necessarily like leaders, but do they have influence over other kids? And then of course, we looked at like grades and attendance and other things like how did they behave in the classroom. And then through the rubric process, then we had a lengthy where they had to write an essay, and we had 20-some essays that we blotted out names and stuff and had different teachers read them and grade them on a rubric, and then we just took a large point scale and we came up with our first 4 peer leaders at Lincoln County High School. It was Chloe Curry, Timmy Adkins, Chad Walker, and Lindsay Pritchard. Thank you. I'm my brain's farting with that. Lindsay Pritchard, and those 4 went away to a summer camp, and that summer camp was in California. And then when they had that first initial, Chloe said it best and worst experience of her life, when they came back, then they went through and picked 4 up-and-coming juniors who were sophomores at the time, which were these guys. And then, of course, this group, after they got back from their summer camp, sat down at the beginning of the year and picked the next 4 up-and-coming sophomores, i.e. the new juniors. And so we did the initial round of the hard work of picking them, and then we pushed that off onto them. And they followed the same criteria that was set forth by Pier Ford and College Summit, trying to find kids that are a diverse group of kids throughout the building who are influencers amongst their peers.
One other question, how is the funding of the summer activities taking place? How is that funded?
Well, our first year, we got a grant from the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation, and then that went away. Our second year, we got funding from Mr. Kurt King and his, I'm not sure exactly which program.
Title V.
Title V. And then this year, we don't know. We don't know yet, because we all know that this is a difficult time to ask for money for anything, but it is definitely a worthwhile program. The dollar amount isn't as high as what you would think for this program, but it is a good number. But I think the outreach, the amount of students that we're actually hitting with that dollar amount, Mr. Snyder said it best, you can't really put a price tag.
Mr. Priestley, if I may interject, we are very well aware of the concern, Mr. McCormick, the students. And Dr. Love and I are working in conjunction, trying to figure out a way to make sure that this happens again without any cost to the county. That's our primary focus. We think we've got something worked out, but the reality is we can't say it's there because we don't know that it's going to be there. We're only going on projection. If the projection is close, we are there, but we can't say it with confidence.
Okay, we understand. The Charles' presentation was very timely. It's kind of set the stage for things. Anybody, board members, anybody else have anything? Okay. I concur with what Mr. Wilkerson said. I think it's a great program. You all did a good job in your presentation. I was going to ask you a question, really, but you answered it in your follow-up remarks about the FISA. Is that how you pronounce that?
FAFSA.
FAFSA. I wasn't sure at first in your video what that was, but you went in and explained it, so now I understand what it is. Okay, thank you very much. It's a great program, and I think Mr. King will keep working to make sure we're able to do it in the future with others. Thanks a lot. Thank you. We're going to switch switch gears now. We're going to talk, Mr. Bob Watts wants to talk about the LCHS track facility. Mr. Watts, word for our down. There you are.
That's a tough act to follow,
It
isn't
is.
it? Oh, lucky me. I've got some packets there that you can pass around if you will. And that's for future reference mainly. As you said, my name's Bob Watson. I'm the new track coach at Lincoln County High School. And I thank you for allowing me the time to speak concerning the project currently under bid to fix the football field at the high school. As I understand, only the football field is going to be worked on. Is that what's bid on? Or are they going to put drainage in and all that?
Tomorrow, coincidentally, tomorrow is the bid opening.
Right.
And the main project is the leveling and the elevation of not just the football field, but the entire area there.
Right.
So it encompasses the football field. Also, as a part of that, the football field will be crowned. Now, that's the main project, and seeded too, Jeff? And seeded.
Right.
Okay, that's the
Okay.
main project, that whole area, not just the football field, but that
Right.
whole area, brought to the right elevation, crowned for the football field and seeded. We have
Okay.
two alternates. Alternate number one is the drainage that's required for that. And alternate number two would be a project where it'd be hydro seeded rather than just other seeded.
Okay, I wanted to be sure about that because I was at the pre-bid meeting and I glanced at the plans and so forth and didn't really know for sure what the bid was going to be because I wasn't qualified to bid. But when I started coaching this, started this job, the athletes asked me, when will we get a track? And my immediate answer was, when you earn it. And then I started to think about what does it take to build a proper track. And I talked to a friend of mine who's an engineer, and he offered to assist me in estimating the cost in order to plan for to secure the funds for the future. His company works with companies who specialize in nothing but building sports facilities. I learned a great deal in a very short time about how hard it is in the age of computers to lay out tracks, fields, and so forth. The truth is, it takes a few keystrokes on a computer and print out the plans. Standard facilities like football fields, tracks, etc. are stored in data banks for anybody to access. When my friend hits the button on a track, it puts in the drainage and everything, the elevation, everything comes out just bang right now. It takes about 5 minutes to design it. And you can put modifications in for your particular needs and so forth. But I glanced through the plans on our facility, as I stated at the pre-bid meeting, and I think they're excellent. But I have a couple of concerns. First, and most important to me, is the drainage. It calls for a 6-inch drain system, which is standard for a natural grass field, because the ground will soak up part of the ground, of the rain and everything. But if in the future we ever want to put an artificial surface in there, that drain is not adequate. It has to be up to an 8-inch drain, which is a very small increase at the time if you put it in now. You know what I mean?
The drain that you're speaking of, is that the one on the field, the football field, or the outer drainage?
No, the drainage on the field itself, on the edge of the track, on the inside edge of a track where the football field drains in.
The main drain, what you're talking about. Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And if we do that, if we don't upgrade now, if we decide to put drainage in now, and we don't upgrade, then if we do in the future manage to secure the funds to put in AstroTurf or any kind of an artificial surface, then we'd have to tear out the drain and all that expense and time and labor. And, it involves more than if it would be just to put in an 8-inch drain now. And I know that synthetic fields are outrageously high. So, and it's beyond our means, but no one knows what the future will hold. As far as the rubberized track is concerned, I was shocked at the cost of that project. It's unbelievably economical, surprisingly so. I have bids from a company that does that specialty, and they're the top of the line tracks. And of course, I'm committed to can't tell you those prices unless we let them bid on it or something. But I was really surprised. The one thing too that I'm concerned with, I didn't see any provision in the plans if we build a track for field events like the shot put, the discus, the high jump, the long jump, and all that stuff. So if we get around to building the track, we need to plan to put the D at the top and each end of the field in rubberized asphalt too. The need for a facility at the high school to call its own is undeniable. And I'm sure that everyone here would love to just be able to say it and have it done. But, it's evidenced by the fact that we've been 10 years here, I think, and the school, and the field's still not completed. So that shows that it's going to be tough to do. But it's going to take everyone that has any hope for our children to have better facilities, both for sports and academics, to pull together and unite this community into a common effort to accomplish this task. No one man or 6 men or 100 men can do this. It's going to take us all working together. It's amazing what can be accomplished if no one cares who gets the credit. And so, those are old cliches that you hear. When we have superior sports facilities, the entire community can be proud, of the facility, the stadium, the team, and it tends to give a focal point to the community. It gives them something to work for together. And it also will provide our students another means of a chance to get a scholarship to go to college, because, you don't have to be 300 pounds. You don't have to be 6'6". You don't have to be able to throw a ball 100 miles an hour. You have to be able to run. And it's especially inviting for young ladies here, because Marshall has a women's track team. I know kids that I've coached myself. One right now, Sophia Mitchell, holds the school record for the 400-meter hurdles at Marshall University. She came from Huntington High School. She holds the state record in West Virginia. And we have students here right now that when they were in the 8th grade, I was coaching the middle school, helping with them, they could have placed in our state meet right now. Right then, in the 8th grade, they could have placed in the AA state meet 100-meter dash. They would have been 4th, one more grade, this past season. So we have talent, but we have no facility for them to train them. Right now, Huntington High School is gracious enough to let us come down there twice a week. I have a key to the lights and everything else. They let us use that field and their practice facility to train. So we get 2 nights a week, we're training on a regular track. And I like to tell everybody, we've got the best track in Lincoln County. It's the one painted on the road behind the school right there, because it's the only track in Lincoln County, okay? But you folks in a position to lead this community into some kind of a project like that. And I know it's difficult, to look for that money, and yet I think that you're starting in the right direction. You're taking a step. Once you you make a step, then you can make the next step. And getting this field ready to go is a step in the right direction. If you think about it, if you round the field, you put in the drainage, you can't keep grass from growing on it. You know that yourself, but look at your own yard. Look at your yard. You'd love to have that grass not grow quite so much. And that field will be the same way. It requires a lot of maintenance, see, but it will grow. A couple of goalposts, I'll line off the field, you got a football field there, all right? If it came down to it, you get the community, and there are people here that if you leave, they're more than willing to follow. That's why all these kids and some of these people are over here with me tonight, because they want to see some of this stuff done. You get material, and you get someone to tell them what to do, and there's more than enough muscle here to build bleachers and so forth. You can play football games on Saturday afternoon. You don't have to have lights. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't play on Saturday afternoon. So you could put a field there, put up a set of bleachers, and you've got a field to play your home games on. Just play them on Saturday. So the possibility lies, once you get this done, to progress from there, step by step, and soon you'll have an outstanding facility here. And my daughter liked to call it Panther Pride Stadium, So that's what we chose as our kind of our theme for the track team this year. You'll see when I walk away, see it says Panther Track. On the back it says, bring back the pride. So that's what we're working for. And I thank you for allowing me to address you. And I've got those packets there that explain surfacing and drainage and some of the things that are possible. And I'm more than willing to connect you with this engineering company. And you see all this stuff, all these estimates and all this stuff I got, they're free. no thousands and thousands of dollars for the plans. And I've got the plans for free. So let's make use of that.
Mr. Watt?
Yes, sir.
We appreciate, I think we're on the same page.
Okay.
We've, just a little history, you may have heard about, we've had presentations from various vendors about, we started off with grandiose plans of having
Right.
a facility out there with a stadium and lights and an athletic building and everything you can think of. And then they shocked us when they came in here and told us it was gonna cost us $5, $6, or $7 million. And we
Right.
was like,
Right.
take a couple of zeros off of there. So we've been down there. So, but you're exactly right. What we eventually came to realize, because we tried to pass a school bond that would have funded that facility out there. We didn't do very well on that either. So we came to the realization that the only way that we were ever going to do this was in a step-by-step method, such as you said here. And Mr. Curry and I, we tease each other all the time. We don't know whether we're ever going to see that out there, but we're hoping we do one of these days. We thought they may wheel us out there. And,
I'm in the same boat you guys are in now when it comes to that, but,
our vision has always been, and the whole high school campus is it's in progress. We
Right.
take one step at a time. And, we've got now, just through volunteer efforts, really, the soccer field and the softball and baseball fields, and, they're coming along that there aren't any better. And, what we envision is one day that the football facility and the track and all will tie right in there. And of course, around back, we have an area designated for the band to eventually, we
Right.
worked on that to have that, maybe 5 years from now or whenever, that area out there will be complete with, everything that's
Right.
needed. So we agree with you wholeheartedly. Now, as we've had these estimates, Mr. Linwood, do you have a picture? One of the companies that we had, they gave us a rendition of what things like, because we've looked at the possibility and we were absolutely astounded of the track, because what we've seen, at first we heard about, how many lanes a track should have, then we kind of settled into thinking that with what we had, a 6-lane track was what best suited for what we were able to do in a number of ways. Then they began to tell us the cost of a 6-lane track. And I mean, they came in, what was it, $600,000, $500,000 or $600,000 for a 6-lane track. And, I'm thinking of back years ago when, we just kind of ran around in the grass. But anyway, they talked about depending on the foundation, and I'm sure that's what some of this is what's underneath
well, there's a
it.
thing in their shows how they do it with
And
concrete.
whether you have a cinder track or rubberized track and how that varies as far as what's underneath it based upon that. But, those were the plans we had. Now, what we would like to do, and if all goes well, and, we're keeping our fingers crossed that tomorrow that those bids will come in well, and we'll be able to get the field done and the drainage and all that, and have that done. Then, we're gonna give it a couple of months for that grass to
Right.
grow. But by fall, ideally, we'd like to, be suitable for them to be at practice football, if nothing else. Because it'd be closer and this, that, and the other. But then next spring, we'd like to get to the point to where we could have a track around there. Now, that may involve a bunch of you guys helping with us. And will it be one that meets all these criteria? Maybe not. But that's also maybe where we need to take little steps there too, to where we get the track lined off, you begin to do things, it might be better than the track that you presently have. And then as time goes on.
Oh, yes, it would, I can guarantee you.
But at least you'll have something that's there, and like you say, I don't know whether that shows the other, aside from the track itself, the other track facilities that would be required.
But it shows the long jump and the high jump.
Yeah, I thought it did. I
Yeah.
wasn't going to commit myself, but I thought that those were all pictured in the, the complex as was planned.
Well, if
So-
it's encouraging to you, you said they wanted $600 and some thousand dollars to build that track?
They lost me after.
I can do it for half that.
Okay.
There you go. I've got,
Okay, that's good.
so that's what you can be working for.
Y'all can set that down. That's- I know you are.
I appreciate it.
But I just wanted to let you know that, we've heard this and we have the same vision that you do.
Okay.
Now, how we get there is where we're gonna have to work to do it.
We have to work together. That's what I
Absolutely.
said.
I don't know whether track has a boosters club or not.
Well,
We have none.
They're here, a couple of them. Yeah, there's a few of them.
The reason I said that was because you'll see that in soccer, football, and band, they all have boosters clubs. And they assist in doing various things, whether it be manual labor, or sometimes it's car washes to raise money and this, that, and the other. But the worst case scenario, should things not work out as far as our bid tomorrow, and we aren't able to do that, that doesn't preclude the possibility that maybe, and we've not made any progress, by next spring, that you all, the track, are able to go in and mark off your area. And Mr. Meeks, we talked about this, the only thing we'd want to do is to make sure the surface was smooth and, and that kind of thing, that you could begin to do that. But we're not, we're not there yet. We're hoping that we can take the first step that we all want to take, have the field there, they can begin to do practice in football and all, and then by next spring, have a place laid out to where we can begin to have the facilities that you all want. And maybe they'll be rudimentary at first, but then we'll grow into that.
That would be excellent.
Our problem is, like everybody else's, is money.
Oh, I know.
Mr. Midkiff, I think here in the next month or so, is going to recommend to the board that we eliminate 15 positions for next year in our school system. We lost, 85 students? We lost 85 students from the prior year. What that equates to, we get about $5,500 a student from the state.
Yes.
So that comes out to about $450,000. And you may have seen like some of the other counties, they're cutting 70 and 60 and 40 and 50. We always, and have for as long as I can remember, we cut 10 or 15 people every year, because we've always tried to live close to the edge. And so we're going to do that, we have to do that again to try to get within our budget. We've also been advised by the assessor's office that we're going to, there will be a decrease in the tax base revenue next year. So we've got that looking at. So funding wise, we're up against it as how we can do this. Now, with the football field, what we're proposing here, the money that we have for that was designated about 6 years ago. The county commission challenged us with $100,000 when they had money. Yeah. And we had a little bit of money, and we were able to, but that money's been there ever since then. Okay. So that's the money that we have been always, maybe, I don't know, too optimistic, but that was the money that we had to do what we're trying to get done with this first step. Right. Now, additional monies, we're open to suggestions, and, we've tried to seek grants, but, so things are not just dry here, they're dry everywhere.
We'll try as a group.
Well, but we want to do whatever we can do, but you made a very strong point that we need you all to help us to do these, because we had a gentleman out, and I regretfully don't remember his name, but he went around on a bulldozer out there a couple of years ago for day after day after day trying to move that dirt. And it was like, I don't know even what analogy to use, but eventually, it just wasn't going to work. So then we went
saying against the tide, sort of?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take large equipment to do this, probably, hopefully a relatively small amount. Right. But anyway, we all want the same thing. Okay. But we came to the conclusion a long time ago that there was no way we were ever going to get what we wanted unless we took that little step. Yes. And we think that's what this is. And, we're hopeful that tomorrow we're going to hopefully. Okay. I think all these people involved with track especially, and football, think you've taken a step in the right direction. And I appreciate that. Mr. Curry. Yes.
You mentioned the drain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not large enough.
Yes.
Where'd you get that information?
Well, that friend of mine that's an engineer.
Does he realize that's draining both directions?
Right, right. But see, here's the thing. With a grass field, the ground soaks up part of it. When you put AstroTurf in, nothing soaks up. It all runs off.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying that drain is draining out.
Oh, yeah, the drain is the same exact drain as they've got on that plan. Only it's 8 inches instead of 6 inches.
Yeah. Well, I think there were engineers that designed it, but I think this field has been developed for a grass field.
I know that.
Yeah.
Well, the plan is.
Right, because, once again, we came to the kind of a conclusion that we weren't going to be able to afford a synthetic field. Mm-hmm. And therefore, we went with the 6-inch rather than the 9. For a couple of reasons. One, money-wise. Then we also began to have concerns about safety of synthetic fields. Mm-hmm. And also said, there's some controversy over that. But you know, the monetary one was one that
Yeah,
was paramount.
that's the biggest expense
Yeah.
for most people.
Yeah, but for right now, you're absolutely correct. As far as the size of it, it is designed for a grass field.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, I coach special teams at Huntington High School. I coach kickers and punters and special teams. So I'm on AstroTurf, and we were on grass before, so I know what we've got. And the biggest advantage to the AstroTurf is very little maintenance, and day after day after day after day of use. You can put 2 football games a day on it, you can play a soccer game that morning or that afternoon, and a football game that night, and the gym class can run on it all day long, and it never has to be mowed, it never has to have anything done to it, you know.
But it's just some of the
And so,
safety
you know,
issues that have been,
right.
come up, you know, if there are such a thing. But,
Right.
you know, we don't know, but, you know,
I know
money
that.
kind of overrides everything
Right.
that's there too. Mr. Baker.
The track surfaces you're talking about are not AstroTurf though, are they?
No, no, no.
Rubberized
It's
system.
rubberized. It's a
So-
rubber
so,
pellet.
As far as whether we could AstroTurf our field, and given the quotes that came to us last year, that's not going to happen.
But that's irrelevant as far as the track's
And that's my
concerned.
point,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
even if we can't put AstroTurf on the field, given the much more modest cost of a decent track surface that
Mhm.
you've represented,
Yes.
you can get quotes for. I think if we can look into, I know we can't change, excuse me, the bid for what we've asked to be done now. That's been bid, but certainly we could look into a change order to look at the cost of a 8-inch versus a 6-inch drain.
Well,
Yeah,
there's pictures of it in there, I think.
Right, I'm just saying that what it would cost us to change
Mhm.
the bid, whoever the winning bidder is, to look at the possibility of an 8-inch drain.
I appreciate
Is it
that.
realistic that we're gonna put in a $300,000 track? It probably isn't. But if it's a matter of $1,000 or a couple, $3,000 to put adequate drainage in
Yes.
now,
Yes.
on the hope that we
And
could
it'll
put
drain
a track.
it'll drain a grass field.
Yeah, it'll
Just
drain
the same
better.
as the 6-inch.
Drain more.
More, yeah.
We
Okay.
could go ahead and accept, you know, the bid,
Yeah.
the lowest bid.
And then
if
put a
we
change
wanna
order in and
accept,
do it.
And then check with them to see, you know,
Yes.
if we switch from the 6 to 8.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
now, you know, in our budget, though, $1,000 difference in a
Oh, I know.
project, that's a lot of money.
But,
I understand it's a lot of
we'll come
cost
up with
savings down the road.
$1,000.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, I'll
Let me
guarantee
just
that.
Get see clarification here. Now, I know you need the larger drainage for the field to be turf versus grass, right?
Right.
But would there anything prevent you having a grass field and a turf?
No, no,
And
no.
still with the.
Rubberized tracks are pretty much standard
Well, what I'm
anymore, and
saying-
it doesn't have to be on a turf field.
Would you have to have an 8-inch drainage system to do that?
No, as long as the drain system is close to the edge of the track.
Well,
The
I'm
track
saying,
slopes in and the water will run off.
in the worst case scenario of not being able to afford the 8-inch
Right.
drain, you could still have a grass field with the 6-inch drain.
Absolutely.
And have some type of
Absolutely.
surface around like this, right?
Absolutely. Of course, my major concern is the track. I'm a track coach.
I hope so.
I hope you get a football field, but I really want that track.
As do we.
Yes.
And once again, that's, you know, we'll hopefully, by next spring, we'll have something there.
Okay.
And I hope it has a crown middle.
Yes.
That's there.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate it. I
We
appreciate it. I'll
you
not
coming.
take any more of your time, and I really do appreciate you letting me come up here and tell you how I feel. And if you come to that point and you want my advice on it, and my friend's advice on engineering and stuff, call on me. I'll be available at any time.
I expect.
I'm retired, so I've got plenty of time.
I expect you'll be hearing from us.
All right, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
That was very informative. We appreciate that. It was encouraging too. Maybe we're moving in the right direction. Okay, we'll let those at, it's matinee time, so you get to that. You won't hurt our feelings. We've had them walk out before.
I just want you to notice how much it cleans out here what's
Well,
I lost the I got it.
That's what you should talk about. I don't know. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Brenda and I have a plan, if we win the lottery.
You're gonna dump us, go.
After we build a football stadium.
Okay.
We've got a name picked out.
Mr. Big Gibson, who's in fantasy world up here.
They're gonna win the lottery and build that stadium.
I want to know the name of it. We talk about that all the time.
I wonder.
We've got that on tape, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again.
Again. Okay. Let's move right along here. Next, on our presentation, Craig Atkins. Craig wants to talk to us about middle school cross country. We're still running, but we're running longer.
Still running. I'm not asking for a whole lot of money neither. What I'm here today is to talk to you about starting up the middle school cross country teams. 2 years ago, Mr. Snyder asked me if I wanted to step up and be a coach at Lincoln County High School, and I said, yes, I'll do that. And since then, I found out that I need to get that started earlier. When you're talking cross country, it takes several years to build up and get that conditioning for that distance. And I've got Miss Means here with me. She's from Hamlin, and she was my assistant coach last year. But we found that there's a lot of interest in those younger kids in the middle school. And I've talked to Bill. Bill told me I need to come to you guys. But that's what I'm here for. I need to get them feeder schools started, just like anything, you know, like baseball, soccer, football. Got to get them started early, that way so I can get them in high school and they're pretty much in condition and their mindset on what we're there for, and that's run. We don't need a big stadium. We got plenty of land over there to run on, so I just need to get them interested and interested young. So. Mr. Green, you got anything you want to say?
Well, I talked to the 5th, 6th, and 7th graders at the middle school, and I had about 49 students sign up as interested in learning more about cross country, most of them 5th graders. So I think if we could get a position there for a cross country team, we would have plenty of students to fill it.
There's not really any particular number of kids you have to have that are interested.
To be a team and compete as a team, you have to have like 4, 5,
You have to have 5 to be a team.
But you can still run as an individual.
And you can have as many as you want, you know, and you can enter as many as you want in a meet. It's just, they only, 5 makes your team and they only track 7, okay? Right now at Hearts, I went around a few weeks back and went to the schools and talked to the kids. In Hearts, I had 22 kids that said they were interested. At Guyan Valley, no, I'm sorry, at Guyan Valley I had 22. At Hearts, I had 16 kids. And how many did you say, 49?
Yeah.
And
Like
Duvall's the only school I haven't been able to get into. I've talked to the principal a couple of times. She's never got back with me to give me a date when I could come on and talk to them. So, but the interest is there. It's like last year. Last year, we took our kids, and I had one girl, she was 3 away from going to the state. You know, this is her 2nd year running cross country, and she was 3 away from going to state. She went down this weekend, or last weekend I think it was, down at Huntington. They had Mountaintop, something other run, and they ran, I think it was 4 miles. And she ran that 4 miles, and it had 2 or 3 obstacles that they had to go over while they was running. And she ran that in 28 minutes. That's a 7-minute mile. So you know, if she ran 21 minutes, 3 miles, I mean, she's right there with, you know, with the best of them. So with a little bit more work and pushing, you know, no doubt, she's only a sophomore. The time she becomes a senior, she should be at that state level.
Let's talk about the type of course that they need. Like, obviously, if you had one at Hamlin Middle, would they go out here to the same one that you use?
Sure, they can. I mean, cross country is not like running around a track.
Well, and that,
As a matter of fact, in this August, I'm going to host the first cross-country meet at Lincoln County High School. I've got it set up. I got a company coming in that does all the timing. All I got to do is just lay out the course. And basically, that's around the cornfields, around behind the baseball field, up the hill where y'all talk about putting that football field, and then down over in that bottom field and circle back around. And I can get 3.1 miles out of it.
well, you know, I think about it, Duval, I can see where that, and Hamlin, and Guyan Valley.
Now, see,
and
middle
Harts.
schools only have to run 1.6, eh?
Yeah, it's like
But what
1.5.
Harts, where would you see, envision Harts being? Up where the old high school was, or have you thought about where it would be there? The other schools are
really-
relatively close to their, you know, their fields, their football fields.
I really don't, I don't know how to answer it. Probably so. Probably up around our football field.
Well, knowing it's, you know, it's right there on Route 10
Mm-hmm.
and everything, I hope they're not gonna run up down Route 10.
Well, I would say they could probably get 1.5 miles just around the front and around the back of that school.
Just going around the
Yeah.
school itself. 'Cause
Maybe
that was
take
the
a couple
first thing I
laps or
thought
something.
of is, you know, because I'm not familiar with it, you know, I know you run.
When we go out to these cross-country meets, we see as many middle schools out there as we do high schools, you know? And we don't have a middle school, so.
Well, what type of courses do they have? Do they just run around their football field area?
Right,
or what?
it's like Cabell Midland, which the last couple of years, they've hosted a state. And they run around their baseball fields and up on top of that big old hill on the other side of it, behind their football field, and circle back around and then end up on their football field.
And you just run the terrain that's available.
Well, that's.
Yeah, that's what it's cross-country, it's not, track.
Right.
Huntington High does the same thing. They go around the
Who?
field and up on Huntington.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Up
Huntington
behind
High
the
does.
school.
So there's a lot of middle schools that have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
around us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every county.
Other than this county, yeah.
I agree with you, any sport, or, you have to,
You
you
gotta
have to
grow.
work your way. They gotta begin early and work their way up, you just can't wait till they, high school.
We're showing interest, but, we just need to get the team there to keep that interest going. And it's like soccer. A few years back, soccer was unheard of in Lincoln County. And we kind of pushed and got them started. Look at it now, man, it's just going like wild weeds growing, So.
Well, and like, kids have different interests and abilities, and Mr. Watts pointed that out. Some people can run, and some can jump, and some can do whatever. And I guess this would provide for those that are distance runners. Found out a long time ago, some people can run real fast, but other people can run a long way.
Right.
That helps you
That's
sometimes.
the only chance I have with these little short legs. I'm not getting very
You
fast.
just get that endurance up, you can do better. Anybody have any questions about Project Romney?
I'll be all for it if we can.
Well,
I
of
mean,
course,
it's going to be a minimal cost, it's basically just hire a coach.
a
That's what it's
coach,
gonna
and
cost.
then just, they would have to.
No equipment involved.
Not much, just a uniform.
Uniform.
That's it.
I mean, you can fundraise for that, so.
Mr. Watts, you have something?
If I could interject as a track coach's point of view, it's a great program, especially in the middle school, because kids in the middle schools don't often have the strength or the leg strength and upper body strength to run sprints and stuff that I coach.
In other
that's
words,
what
you're
my
wanting them
specialty
to get them ready to go, so you can
And
get
yes.
some of them.
Well, everyone on my team's on his team, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
And
I see your motive
also,
already.
it's a great lifestyle. Look how many people enjoy just running, or but seriously, it starts kids out at fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, in that area. Starts them running and thinking about conditioning, and gives them an objective to do. And so
That's
I
when
think
they got
from
all that
my
energy
point of view,
anyway.
it's
Well, and
great.
it could be a lifelong thing. It's
Yeah,
not something that
right.
ends when you get out of
Yes.
school or anything.
Cross-country's fall, track and spring, so it's
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my other question. When is the season?
In the fall.
In the fall.
In the
Okay.
fall.
in the spring, so.
Okay. After soccer, they play all the time. I can't keep up with them. I have to ask.
But yeah, my objective here today was just, get that on your agenda, and get it in your radar, so maybe we can get the wheels turning and maybe hire a coach for next year and get that team started, Because we know, and Miss Davis was gonna be here from Guy Valley, I know she's talked to Bill a couple of times, I think, she's talked to me.
She talked to me.
She
about
has
it.
to me
She's,
too.
yeah, she's definitely on board. She's
Yeah.
in favor of it.
So, so the interest is there.
And I'm interested in coaching the middle school because I was the assistant at the high school last year, but I mean, know if you'd need an assistant coach if we were going to Auburn.
Yeah, I mean,
Same stuff.
and once we get this started, you know, we could, probably take one bus and pick up kids and go to the meet, you know?
Because the middle and high school have to go to the same
Yeah.
meets, they just schedule on different times.
We share a bus too.
So they're middle school meets too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, thank y'all, sounds interesting.
Thank you.
Well, that's, I'm getting tired just thinking about it.
Running cross country.
I know it.
We're just timekeepers, are we?
You gotta have those things.
Get ready.
Mr. Midkiff, he'll be walking around up and down the hallway here after a while.
Stop.
Okay, we appreciate everybody that came tonight, it's a good conversation. Let's go to the administrative section, please. Have a motion? Brownie? Second by Fred. Mr. Midkiff.
Okay, item A is the adoption of a school calendar for 2017-2018 school year, which is attached. Item B, adoption of the following textbooks as recommended by the Textbook Adoption Committee. These books will be, we use them for a 6-year period of time. Item C, out-of-state travel for county gifted students to the Newport Aquarium at Cincinnati Zoo on April 6, 2017. Transport by private coach, funded through special education. Item D, Allen County student transfer for the remainder of the 2016-2017 school year. Item E, out-of-state travel for the following personnel. Item F, school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones for athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings, and have completed volunteer orientation.
Okay. Everybody okay on that? I think there was one, your packet should have had the revision.
It's over in the finance.
Oh, it's in the finance, I'm sorry, okay. Okay, anybody have any questions about any of those things? All right, then all yes vote on the administrative item.
Yes.
Good, so. Okay, the finance section, can I have a motion, please?
I'll move it.
Second.
Larry made the motion, Carol seconded. Okay. Ray?
Scheduled invoices totaling $756,528.93 is attached. And as always, you got a question, just let me know. The annual memorandum of agreement with West Virginia University Cooperative Extension Service for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2017, according to the terms of the agreement, which is attached, funded by the excess levy. We have budget supplements totaling $273,359.78, and budget transfers totaling $174,964.23.
And that's where we had the revision on the memorandum of agreement with the extension service, right? Or W?
Yes.
You had a revised copy of that. Okay, and that of course is part of our excess levy, the $15,000 we gave the extension service. I think Mr. Wilkerson went over that with us here a couple weeks ago. Okay, anybody have any questions about it? Bill, do you have a question? You look like you had one.
Good.
Okay. All right, if not, then is that an all yes on the finance item?
Yes.
Okay. The personnel section, do you have a motion, please? I move. Rowdy? Fred, second that. Bill?
Okay, item A, employment of short, long-term substitute professional personnel. B, employment of professional personnel pending FBI CFI clearance and issuance of first-class permit. Item C, employment of substitute service personnel. D, employment of service personnel. E, transfer of service personnel. F, employment of extracurricular personnel. And G, resignations and retirements.
Do I have any questions? I know Bill gave us one hand, and I think it's
Yeah,
next year.
I laid you a hand up. When we went out, we took letters out last week, and as we met with people, we gave them a copy of this, of what positions will be posted. as I explained last board meeting, how the law changed and everything, these will all be posted May 1st, and we've told them that. May 1st, these positions will be posted. If you can look, as by the school, and then the positions, and then the green is the service personnel, that'll be posted.
They get the same copy that we have here.
The teachers did, the service did, but I will email it out to them, to the principals and give it to them, yes.
What is the projected date if there are hearings?
April 6th.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Linville?
Then with the new personnel laws, they've done that.
They're still in session, so they can still change.
Bill, with the new personnel laws, does that count for like classroom aides also?
Classroom aid was always that way. You would look at the number you need to reduce, and they went to a county pool, and then those positions were posted.
Okay. So if they're not needed in that school, they go into
To a county pool, they're put on transfer.
So it's always been that way?
It's always been that way, yes, and for every one that you move, you have to go down the seniority list, find somebody for them to replace. You gotta have a slot for them to move. So there were some aides that were riffed also, not just the ones that gets transferred. But if somebody gets transferred, you gotta make sure there's a slot, because you're telling them they'll have a job next year. So you have to make a slot available for them. So we put 4 aides on transfer, and if you look, we have 4 aide positions here we will post.
So those 4 that are on transfer are going to have the seniority to take these 4 positions, like.
It could be, or it could be an aide that's not on transfer. Because it's all based, services all based on seniority. It may be somebody that's been somewhere for 28 years and decide, I don't want to be here, but I want to go to this spot.
But if someone with more seniority that has a spot takes one of these, the
Then
4 aides that are,
The
one
4
of the
people
4
on
that are on
transfer will get a job somewhere.
They will have the opportunity for a job
They'll
somewhere.
have every opportunity, and, you know, it's been my experience, and Mr. Midkiff will agree, that people get more upset about being transferred than they do about losing their job. The ones that are riffed usually don't get upset as much as the one that gets transferred. It's because some people have been out of school for a good while, and they think they, you know, and I understand that. I understand that.
Now, and it's also, there's also the possibility when school starts that we might have needs that we don't know about now.
That is correct.
Unfortunately, that happens.
That is correct, and we also know that a couple, 3 more people that are going to the retirement board that haven't given us their retirement, so as soon as those people retire, we'll get those postings out there too. And we want to post, you know, some schools are waiting till school's out to post, but we want to post immediately because we want people to know if they have a job, and we don't want to be up in July and this month, that one, this one get tired, and this one have to move here and that one, and, you know, we're trying to get ahead of the game.
Right. Okay, so I guess we're thinking there that everybody should have a job, right? That nobody would be jobless.
Everybody's transferred, not the people that are riffed.
Not the riff. But with the transfer, yes. With the service, I'm sorry, but with the professional, where some people riff, and a lot of that'll depend on their certification of the jobs out there. Because we had a teacher that got riff that had math, elementary, and early childhood certification. Or not riff, she was put on transfer. So we have to have a job. We didn't know which job she's gonna bid on. If she bid on the math, then that would make an elementary position available for somebody else. But if she bids on elementary, and we got another elementary teacher we got to place, we had to make another elementary slot. It was a whole lot easier when, you know, last year we could just say, okay, this teacher right here has elementary, math, and early childhood. There's a math position at Duval. We can say, okay, you're going to math next year. We had a kindergarten teacher who got rid. There's a kindergarten position at Ranger. We can say, okay, you're going to kindergarten next year. which made it so much easier, but the law changed.
Well, still hopeful that everybody will have a job.
We're still hopeful everybody has a job, yes, we are.
May not be where they want to be for a while, but.
Right, we're still hopeful.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? If not, is that an all yes on personnel section?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's go down to comments and concerns. Board members have anything? Well, you know, ask him. I have one thing I'd like to mention to you folks. Tonight, or today, and we weren't able to talk about it because it was presented to us, but the Guyan Valley faculty members submitted this letter on the memorial issue and all that, and we talked about it a little bit informally at times. And I think most of us agree it's kind of ambiguous. It's, you know, when you read through it, it's not really clear what it says. I can see where it can be interpreted in different ways. There are some things in there that we don't cover that maybe we should cover, like naming of buildings, facilities is something that's come up. What I'd like to suggest is that there seems to be a need for us to establish a committee, and we seek members, maybe send letters to all the faculty senates in the county, and the LSIC members maybe, and see who would like to serve on a committee to develop a policy that would address these things. Taking into concerns that they've been mentioned here, we already see some discrepancies because you know, we see that there are some memorials out there, you know, we've seen pictures of them. So we just need to be consistent. Over the years, things change, you know. We talked about, most obvious, you drive through Hamlin, you know, you see Chuck Yeager, you know, that's, I don't know whether it's a memorial, but it's a statue that represents the guy. But anyway, that's my suggestion. I want to see what you all thought, get everybody's input. Have Mr. Midkiff could recommend somebody from his staff. I would envision the special ed director would be a good member also. That's just my 2 cents.
And probably assistant superintendent.
He would be great too. But out in the schools, anybody, you know, the schools that, you know, would like to have input on this, because there is a need there. It needs to be clear for everybody. But one thing we do want to point out is one thing that it was stated in the letter, that what was Mr. Limble went in good faith out with the document, that it says it was from Lincoln County High School. It really wasn't. Bill, would you explain that for us, please?
Yes, I will. First, when I went over, I shared that it was not a policy, that it was it was a procedure, crisis intervention, which says Lincoln County Schools. Okay?
So it's Lincoln County, all Lincoln County schools.
All Lincoln
not
County
just the high
schools,
schools.
and it was revised in 2008, not 2013. It was revised in 2008. Now, there is where up at the top, someone faxed something to someone in 2013 and has a date of it. That was faxed in 2013, but the date revision is right here. Okay, now if you look on the inside of this one came from high school. What the high school did, they personalized theirs. They put their principal's name, or counselors, and all that. So this is the one that we got a copy of. Okay, the other schools each year, they do the same. Each year, the principal may change, the counselor may change, the school nurse may change. So they go in, and a lot of them have done it this way. They'll take a crisis planning team, and they'll put it on this form to change the name to who the nurse was or whoever. And the high school just personalized this one in their name. And actually, when this happened was in 2008. We lost a young man over to a high school, Andy Cooper, who wrecked, was a football player, and got into this. They wanted to put his jersey in the trophy case. So when that happened, we ended up doing it. And the counselors, that's when we had the counselors grant, and Mr. Roberts back there was over them, realized that it just wasn't, they wasn't prepared to handle that. So that's when they sat down in 2008 and revised this, because they knew there was some problems that they just didn't handle it the right way. So this is when that was revised, not 2013. So that's where we are on that.
But every school has one.
Every
Such a
school,
thing, right?
yes, it does not say, it says Lincoln County Schools crisis.
I mean, that's just, maybe what we could do, Mr. Vicky, if we could send a letter to the faculty of County Valley High School, or middle school, I'm home school here, that, you know, what our intentions are, and just to clarify a couple of points on that, but we certainly understand where they're coming from, and it needs to be more clear, not for everyone there, from the principal to all the staff members.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you
clearly, looking at this document was never designed to address a situation that was presented at Guyan Valley. This is a procedural manual for death of a student. And the people that were involved at Guyan Valley, as set forth in the letter, none of those were students. I mean, I think we need to do what Mr. Priestley's recommended. This was a guideline to deal with the death of a student of a student. And I think that when you're looking for something to tell you whether you could or couldn't have a tribute memorial, no matter what terminology you use, this was a good place to look, but it wasn't perfect. So apparently there are issues now as to what the rules are. Let's do what Mr. Priestley recommended.
I agree wholeheartedly.
You know, because we need to be consistent across the county as to how these things are handled. We have marquees, bulletin boards at all. We have electronic signs at many of the schools. We have bulletin boards at all the schools. What we do in one place should be done in another. I mean, it's really unfair. It takes away a lot of the local control that people so strive for. But, you know, in an instance like this, it isn't fair to have tributes, memorials at one place but not at another without a sound explanation as to why. So, I think we need to have a policy, numbered policy,
Right.
that covers this situation, even if it comes down to having an official policy that says matters such as this are left in the control of the administrator at each facility. But we need to have something in writing, so everybody knows where we stand.
And what we could do, board members, if anybody has any thoughts about what should be involved or included in that, you can share that with either Mr. McKiffey or Mr. Linville, maybe. Either one. And then they could consider when they meet with the committee. Eventually, of course, when they did come up with a policy, a numbered policy, as Rowdy says, it'll actually be in there, then, you know, we'd look at it, and if we'd have to be comfortable with exactly what it says. And then we put it out on public review for a month like we do everything else. People can comment on that. Then hopefully here a couple of months we can have something that everyone could feel comfortable with, be clear about. So if everybody don't have to we can just.
Sounds good.
Everybody okay with that? And I think that would help or answer the concern that's brought from Guyan Valley here and others that could happen. Okay, that's all I had. You have anything, Mr. McKinney? I'm good. Well, yeah, I was just getting raring back and breath. Listen. Wait a minute.
Little something.
Carol's got something.
Is everybody on the call list, like when Brenda calls out? Well, I'm not getting any of the calls.
Yeah, because you called out during the middle of a meeting here, Brenda.
Oh,
You have an 824 phone number?
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Armstrong gave everybody an 824 a blocked number so that you do not get telemarketers. I know when I call Becky, I dial her number, and then I have to hit 8 in order for it to ring. School Messenger can't dial 8 to get through to your house. There is a procedure that you have to go through to unblock that. You'll get me, but you might get other things too.
Or get on your cell phone.
You see, I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you. But
That's why I care.
but I don't have that 8 thing. If somebody calls me, they don't have to tap 8. I mean, I wish I knew how to do that. But if I did that, I wouldn't get you anymore, right?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I took mine off, I had it, and I blocked.
See, I never, everybody says, yeah, about manifest,
If
well, I
you
don't
want
have
to,
it.
we could change it to your cell phone number, and it would come to that, and you wouldn't have to worry about the 824.
Well, you get an email, don't you? Well, I get mine email too.
Do you?
Yeah.
You get,
I get an email and call.
But the state and the county don't jive all the time. I'll get the call, but I could get the state email and text 2 hours later, way after the fact. Like,
Are you talking about closures?
yeah, our early closures, no?
Yeah, well, we're talking about just lots of different.
Oh, okay,
employees that
okay,
come over, right?
okay,
You
sorry.
don't get anything, right, Carol?
Okay,
If it's that 8 thing, then it's a lot higher.
okay.
If you wanna change your number to your cell, then it'll ring your cell phone each time.
Well, you can go through
And
your
you always have
Armstrong,
it with you, don't you? On one and-
look in your Armstrong phone book or procedure, and it'll tell you how to take the 8 off as well.
Yeah, it'll tell you how to take that off, and then you'll get all your,
I forgot how you do it.
all those other
Just
times.
two buttons.
Yeah, but then you go on the national do not call list and put your phone number, and
Well,
you have a
yeah.
cause of action and telemarketer to call you.
We didn't know they were doing that, but it affected our school messenger. People that are 824 don't get it.
Well, everybody kept telling me, oh, you gotta tap 8 so I called myself on my cell phone. I said, no, I didn't. I got me without hitting
I
8.
don't know how you missed that.
I don't either.
Michelle probably had
call
it.
eight.
If they know you got a couple.
Yeah, I think so.
Forget it.
Well, you know, I live close to the general manager there.
There you go, that's right, yeah.
Okay, enough is enough. Anything else over on this side of the table, none over there? Okay, let's adjourn until March the 28th, 2017 at 1 o'clock, afternoon meeting, Rowdy. Got you. Here at the county office. Motion, please. Fred? Second by Rowdy. All yes?
Yes.
All right.